Hey drummers, welcome to this free video drum lesson, but today I'm going to show you how to play the song B.Y.O.B by System of a Down, of course drummed by Jon Dolmayan. Let's check out what's coming up later on in the lesson. So let's get started with this adventure in odd time signatures. Well, not really odd, but different time signatures and various tempos. And hopefully throughout this lesson, I'll explain it to you in a way that makes it a lot easier for you to understand. Speaking of which, I've got the full chart, which you can download from my website for free. All 4 pages, every single bar and drum fill written out for you. The link is beneath this video. So if you want to have this printed out, or say to your computer opened up in front of you as we go through this lesson together, hopefully it's going to make things a lot easier for you to understand. So we come in at 9 seconds. Jon comes in with this loose hi-hat groove, this sort of double time drum beat, and I've decided to write it in 4/4, and the snare drum backbeat is going to fall on the and of each beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and those backbeats are on the ands of each beat. And the first half of the bar is the same as the second half of the bar. We get these bass drums falling in between the hi-hats on the of 1 and the e of 2. 1 and a 2 e and 3 and a 4 e and 1 and a 2 e and 3 and a 4 e and. So be aware those bass drums there falling in between the snare drums are also falling in between the hi-hats. That's what gives the groove its feel. The second bar starts the same, but then we get this series of crash cymbal stabs. 3 E and a 4 and 1. 3 E and a 4 and a da 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 da. So we get 1 and a 2 E and 3 E and a 4 and 1 and a 2 E and. So that sort of tempo, the tempo of the song, which is 150, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You know, you're probably not going to be able to count it out loud. In fact, you won't be able to. So just sort of feel it, and what I do at this point, once you've got it down, the syncopation and the notes in order, just sort of memorize the song. So I'm hearing the guitar stabs when I'm playing that bit. So the second half of that first line is the same as the first half. Then we go on to the second line, and we get, again, those 2 bars being repeated. Notice there's the crash cymbal at the beginning of every 2 bars. And then bars 3 and 4 are the same, except that last crash cymbal on the and of beat 4 is choked. So 1 and a 2 E and 3 E and a 4 and. We then go into a whole bar of just rest. And the way I would count it, if we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you're counting all 8 eighth notes in that rest bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're then going to go into the 6/8 bar. So going into the bar of 6/8, previously we were counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that sort of tempo. The tempo doesn't change. We're then going to just change the counting to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's what's changing there. The number of eighth notes in the bar, not the tempo. So we're going to play this bar of 6/8, and basically what Jon's doing is he's playing all 6 notes on the hi-hat, open hi-hat with the bass drum. And the snare drum backbeat's then going to pop out on the and of 2 and the and of 5. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. At this point, it's pretty crazy counting in from 4s into 6s. I wouldn't be doing this. I'm sort of feeling it when I'm playing it up to speed, but that's what's going on. 6/8 notes going by each bar. So that's our 6/8 bar. We then go into the second bar where we get these stabs. So that choked crash cymbal there is falling where that snare drum backbeat would fall on the and of beat 5. That snare drum there will be a choke crash cymbal. We then go into the next 2 sets of bars where we get the groove starting again, and then the 4th bar we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's da 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 da. So create a little 2-bar loop, bars 3 and 4. So understand that the stabs there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it's the and of there, and of 5 there. If you wanted to count it, again, I'm just sort of feeling it. It's very hard to explain this with all the counting over the top of it. Again, last time I mentioned it, I sort of feel it when I play up speed. Memorize the song, but the chart here is helping you, hopefully, to see what's going on. Anyway, the second line gets repeated exactly the same as the first line. We then go into the double bass drum section, and what Jon is doing is he's still playing the same 6/8 groove. But what we're going to do is double up the 8th notes into 16th notes. So for every 1 bass drum we're playing there, we're going to play 2 notes. Very weird when you slow it down like that. We're playing 2 notes, 2 bass drum notes per 8th note on the hi-hat. The weird thing, which you might find, is when you're playing that backbeat snare drum, it's going to fall with your odd bass drum pedal. So be aware that that's what you should be feeling. It's going to feel weird because that snare drum backbeat is falling with your auxiliary bass drum pedal, the other pedal, because you're going to be leading with your main bass drum foot. By the way, the last thing is we're playing up on the crash cymbal. So it creates like a pseudo triplets kind of feel, which is really cool. So we go from, we're playing that double bass drum section for 3 bars. The 4th bar, however, we get that last snare and crash there is still on the backbeat of the and of 5. That snare drum's been consistent, that backbeat's been consistent. The next line, 3 more bars of the full double bass drum groove, but then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 2 crashes there, stabs on the 1st and the 4th note of the bar. And then we go into the new section where the tempo is roughly 101 BPM I've written, and it's I've called it the bridge. And we go back to a 4/4 fill, and again, this is really where I've sort of got the song on my head. 1 and 2, and so I'm not trying to memorize 150 to 101. I'm hearing the song in my head. So we go from da 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 into our new tempo, which I'll go over in a second. So we kind of get this, the last line of the chorus 1. Can you hear the song in your head? So let's go on to that now. We're playing open hi-hat. We got 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4, so 1. A little drag, a little ghost note drag at the end. 1 and 2 and 3 E and 3 E and 4, so 1. That gets played 3 times. And then bar 4, we got this cool drum fill. 1 and 2 and, a crash cymbal on the and a 2, 1 and 2 and 3, bass drum when it's on beat 3, and then we're going to come straight in on the E of beat 3 with some 32nd notes, up to your highest tom, and it ends with floor tom and snare drum together. So you've got to be quick with the hands there, getting back to the snare drum and floor tom for the and a beat 3, so the and a beat 4. When you play the 32nd notes up to speed, they go by really quick. But that's it. We're then into verse 1. By the way, I'm going to play this all up to speed for you in a moment. Verse 1 is the same as our bridge drum beat, except we're going to be opening and closing the hi-hats on the and of each beat. So we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, or 1. And at the end of the bar, we get a snare drum on the of beat 4. There's 2 ways you can play the hi-hat. I did both there. You can play just the ands, if you find that more comfortable, or you can play all the 8th notes. But I find you naturally want to accent the hi-hat openings on the ands, so you're going to strike those notes harder, slightly harder, so I tend to just play the ands. But I will admit that that's quite a syncopation groove there. There's a lot of limbs that need to line up for that. So that gets played 4 times, that new groove. Second line, 3 more times, but the 4th bar ends with this. We get this push on the bass drum on the of beat 4. We're then going to go into this drum fill, 3 E and 4 E and. You could use double bass drum if you wanted to, but I'm pretty sure Jon just uses his single foot. So we get from bars 3 into bar 4. And it's 4 stick clicks on the recording. You could use your hi-hat foot if you wanted to, but that's what you hear on the recording. So that's bars 3 and 4 again. And there we go, we're going to the new section, which is going to be another bar of 6/8. So, loads of stuff there going on. But luckily for you, or for me for explaining, that's the majority of the song covered. So, let me now play for you the whole chorus 1, bridge 1 and verse 1 up to speed without the microphone on, so you can hear just the drums. Here we go. So as I previously explained on page 2 of the chart, we're going to chorus 2. That click stick, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the new, when we're going to the new time signature of 6/8, that's going to be our new 8th note. So he's actually counting himself in. 1, 2, or 3 and 4 and. So be aware that's how we go from section to section there. And as you heard, it's the same as our previous 6/8 part. except it's a bit extended. So bar 4 has the, not bar 2, just bar 4. The second line is just bar 4 that has the stabs. We then go into the double bass drum part, and this time we do get the stab in the second bar. The second bar is, so we get bars 1 and 2. Then bars 3 and 4. So that gets repeated for the 4th line, but the 4th line, bar 4 is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're then going to go into the slower tempo groove section, which I've called the bridge and the verses, but you could consider that to be the chorus if you wanted to. Anyway, let me play for you the whole of chorus 2. So for bridge 2, nothing to talk about that's new, apart from bar 3 where there's a extra crash cymbal being played on the and of beat 2, so look out for that. Apart from that, the line is exactly the same as bridge 1. Verse 2 is the same as our previous verses except double the length. We've got 4 lines now, but notice at the end of lines 2 and 3, bars 4, we get a drag at the end. Actually goes into a drag into a crash cymbal. So notice that subtle difference there if you want to play it note for note. And then the 4th line, another little thing I noticed, bar 2 has a drag at the end, not the normal snare drum volume on the of 4. But we end it the same way, except bar 4, instead of playing, we get a hi-hat bark. That hi-hat is still open, by the way, from the previous bar. So we just go into hi-hat bark, and I've written it closing on the of 2, but really you just want to feel it as a quick, sharp close, like that. But that's the only difference there. Page 3, we go back to our intro drum beat, the 4/4 double time. Same for the second line. Bar 4 though on the second line we get 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4 and we get and 4 and then we go into our thrash section, which I never thought I'd be playing in a drum lesson in the middle of summer. So what we got here is nothing's changing tempo-wise. We're still playing that tempo. We're just going to play that with the bass drum and the snare drum in between each. I'm not sure what that type of drum beat's called. Can someone mention it in the comments? I know there's different types of metal thrash drum beats. That's probably got a very specific name. The snare drum's on the upbeat, the E and the the bass drum's on the downbeat. So when you're playing this, you want to feel the bass drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Because you want to come out in time. So if you're counting it, you're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Again, feel the downbeat on the hi-hat. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. We're then going to go back into our double time thrash. So we've gone from 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. You can hear the hi-hat hasn't changed. Use the right hand on the hi-hat as your marker to make sure that you're getting the spacing of the notes correctly. That 4th line, we get 3 bars of that thrash beat double time beat, wherever it's called. And then we get this set of drum fills, which are really cool. So we go into a choke crash cymbal, 1, 2, and then beat 3, 3E, a 4E, and I've written it as this tom in front of me. You could use whatever tom you like. I'm just going to use a tom in front of me so I can get back to the snare drum easily. 3 E ands, and then 4 E and a 1. So we get 1 and 2 and 3 E, a 4 E and a 1, and 2 and 3 E, a 4 E and a 1. And use whatever hand you like to choke. You've got to be quite quick with it though. And occasionally, it's almost like, I think for the third time he plays it, you can almost hear like an extra high tom note being played on the and a beat 3. But most of the time it's this feel. So we get. That's the drum fill. Da 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 da. So we get that being played 1, 2, 3 times. The fourth time, 2, 3, 4. We're then going to move into our 6/8 section again. So before we do, let me play for you from, let's say, the second line of chorus 3 and then the last 4 lines of that chorus. Here we go. So chorus 4, as I've called it, you're just moving into 6/8. The 8th notes are still going by the same tempo from previous section, and it's exactly the same as where was it? On page 2 probably. Yeah, it's exactly the same as chorus 2. So nothing new to talk about there. It ends the same way as well. So let's go straight to page 4. And we go into our slower tempo bridge feel, the crash cymbal on the and a beat 2 in bar 3 again. Then we go into verse 3 with our groove. It's double length again, except it ends 2 bars shorter. So notice the third line has 1, 2, 3, 6 bars in it. Bar 4 we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's then going to go into, which is a new tempo, so you've got to really know the song in order to go up to that new tempo. So let me try that for you. Bars 5 and 6 of that last line, verse 3, we get. It actually goes into a crash, but that's what's going on. It's the same drum beat we talked about earlier on. That gets played 4 times, that bar. We then go into. We then get being played again, that line. And then the final 2 lines are slightly different to what we've had previously. The tempo's still the same. We got a half-time feel now. So we're going to go 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So it's that drum beat. So we've gone 3, 4. That feel all the way through. The last line, we get that for 3 more bars, but bar 4, the last bar of the song, we get. It's 1, a 2, up to that point the same, but then we get 3 E and a 4 and a, and it's a little hi-hat bark to end the song. I missed the hi-hat closing. So let me play it in context. I was playing a little bit rushed there. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 2, a 3, 4. And up to speed. That little bass drum there on the 3 is just before the 2 strikes of the hi-hat, 4 and that's how the song ends. So before we finish, let me play for you the whole of the outro, all 5 lines. Here we go. So I hope you found that drum lesson useful. If you've got any questions, feel free to email me, rob@drumstheword.com. Don't also forget to download the full drum chart from our website, again for free. The link is beneath this video, all 4 pages. You can go over to the website now and download that. And while you're over there, you might want to consider signing up to become an online member. And what I currently offer for £97 is full online access to every single full video song lesson I've ever recorded and transcribed. That's coming up to 750 famous and popular songs where, just like this lesson, I teach you the song from start to finish. You get the fully transcribed PDF drum chart. And I've got a couple of other System of a Down songs up on the website. So if you're a Jon Dolmayan fan, then you've got plenty of stuff to get your teeth stuck into already. As a thank you for signing up, I give you access to 3 ebooks I've written over the years containing hundreds of famous drum beats fills and even drum solos. I give you access to hundreds more little videos teaching you even more famous drum beats fills and drum solos. And then over the year of your subscription, you also gain instant online access to all the new material that I upload for my members. And I record new lessons every week unless I'm ill or on holiday. So you've got plenty of cool stuff to look forward to over the year of your subscription. But if you've got any questions about any of that, then feel free to email me, rob@drumstheword.com. And until our next drum lesson together, toodle pip and happy drumming to you.